Namaste. Hello everyone. Welcome to Shail Gulhati, Shiva and Mysticism for another episode of Monday with Mahadev. Last time I told you that in my town Jammu there are lots of temples. We are called the city of temples. And amongst the beautiful temples we have, there is a lovely Shiva temple called Ranbireshwar. And Ranbireshwar has got a beautiful image of Shiva and Parvati, and it has a huge, beautiful Shivling. But it also has some fantastic mural art painted by a Jammu artist called Devdas, who's no longer with us. I used to visit this temple ever since I was a little kid. I even got engaged there, and I still visit that whenever I can. And it was always my desire, looking at these beautiful paintings that he made, that maybe one day I will also have a collection of paintings from him so that I can tell some kind of story about those paintings and Lord Shiva's life. Last time I showed you a painting, number 1 of the series, in which Shiva is holding Sati, her dead body, and he is wondering whether he should finish the world because Sati is not there, life is useless without her, or should he leave it? And when all the Devtas are very scared and they're shivering in his presence, finally he decides to let them be and walks away. He decides to let them be because he rewinds in his mind the beautiful love story that he and Shakti have had. How they created the universe, with what intention they created the universe, so that there would be lots of children, animals, plants, trees, ocean, breeze, mountains, and human beings, and the Devi Devtas, and that it could be one big happy family. But somehow things didn't work out like that. There were always people like Daksh, Sati's own father, who were ignorant and vain, and who always wanted to challenge Lord Shiva's ownership, his lordship. And that's why that whole story happened. So anyway, Shiva decided to let the world be and go away from there, turn away from the world. Within the world, he went into the mountains, not Kailash. He went into a very special place somewhere near Amarnath, in the Himalayas, of course. And then he went into very deep meditations, huge seclusion. No one knows how long that was, because he was not interested. The maker of the universe was not interested in the universe anymore, because the one thing that he really loved was not there, and that was Sati. So eons passed. And what happened then? Because he was not there, a sort of lawlessness started taking place in the world. There were people, dacoits, who realized that now that Shiva is not there to control us, we can do anything. And so the Asuras, Danavas, all the bad people, they started doing all sorts of bad things, and they made this world a living hell. So the rishis got together and said, how do we do this? How do we stop these people? And they conquered that no one can stop them except Lord Shiva. So how do we get him out of his cave? We don't even know where he's gone. So they went to Brahmaji, who's the father of the gods, and said, this is our problem. We cannot sort out these Danavas on our own. We need Lord Shiva, but he is not going to come back to this world. He's abandoned us because he's disgusted with what we did last time. So Brahmaji tells them, don't worry. Sati means she who is, always. Just because her body is not here does not mean she does not exist. She is Sati, she is Shakti, she always is. And she loves Shiva dearly too, so she will be returning as Parvati, the princess of the Himalayas, born to King Hemavat. And this time, King Hemavat will not be as silly as King Daksh, and he will already be a Shiva worshipper, and therefore the marriage will take place. But what? Asked the rishis. But Shiva may be very difficult to please, because he has had such sorrow that he may not like to come back and get married. So how do we work this out? Asked the rishis. They said, Brahma said, well, leave it to Parvati. When she grows old, enough, when she is in her youth, when the celestial spring, the Vasanta will come, as you can see in this painting, lots of colors, spring is blossoming. And when she meets Shiva, she will take him out of his long meditation. And looking at her, he will feel the attachment and he will give his consent to come back to this world, get married to her, and thereafter you guys can ask him to help you out with your problems. So, Parvati grew up worshipping Shiva, his Shivling, and she was a great devotee, very learned, very charming, very beautiful inside out. And one day, because Shiva was living in the Himalayas, her father's kingdom, she did go with permission to see him. And this painting depicts that scene. Just the presence of Parvati made Shiva come out of his meditation. And notable here is, if you remember the older painting, Shiva's hair was very well groomed because he was a groom in the time of Sati. But now maybe 1,000 years have passed and his hair is becoming matted. He's not groomed himself. He doesn't care for anything. But Parvati, of course, is very beautiful, very well kept. So Shiva is waking from his meditation. He's looking at Parvati and he realizes that a new phase in the world cycle has begun. So this was painting number 2 of the collection. Join me here again next Monday for painting number 3. What is that going to be? Well, that is going to be the marriage of Shiva and Parvati and how it was celebrated. And Devdas, the artist, made Parvati as a typical Dogra bride in that. Dogras are the people of our town, and he offered his prayer, his tribute, by painting her as a beautiful Dogra bride. So join me here next Monday. Om Namah Shivaya.